All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. We're going to do kind of a crash course in search engine optimization today. That's called SEO, and I'm sure you've seen the acronym SEO, and some people are too embarrassed to ask, what does that stand for? So it stands for search engine optimization. So basically what we're trying to do is make sure that we build out our web pages, our websites, our individual pages themselves, whatever, on the web in order for Google to be able to find it. And so that's what we're going to do today. This is found in our page attributes section of the web builder. So I'm actually going to build out what I would normally do if I was trying to garnish a little bit of extra search engine optimization for real estate or realtor testimonials in a specific subdivision. Okay, so we'll talk about this in a couple seconds. So what we typically do during this time is I'll go through the whole presentation and probably break at about 20-25 minutes, and then we'll do questions through the chat window. It would be great if you could keep your questions towards the end, and that way just pop the chat window open when we're done. When I open it up to questions, put your question in at that time would be helpful. That way I don't get a string of 20 or 30 that I can't answer. Okay? All right, let's get started, everybody. So we're starting with Web Builder, and we're in the My Connect system right here. I'm logged in as a sample agent, and what I'm going to do here is go ahead and click on Web Builder and open up my sample website. So this is my sample website for me. It's just a demo site that we use for a lot of different things, and what we're going to do is we're going to build a page today around testimonials that someone might be searching for a realtor who specializes in, let's just make up a subdivision, let's say Royal Oaks, okay? So really what are we trying to do? Well, when I type in Google, when I go to Google here, what I really want to do is be able to, come up on when people have certain search terms. And there's what's called short-term search and long-term search, or long-tail search, sorry. And one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we're realistic with what kind of search terms we're going after, okay? So things like San Jose realtor testimonials would be a tough one to crack and get on the first page. Things like San Jose real estate, right? These are things that are very, very difficult to get on the first page when it comes to search engine optimization. But what is easier? Well, it's easier if not as many people are searching for it, but it fits your demographic. So let's say we have a neighborhood within San Jose, and let's say it's called the Sunset neighborhood, and within Sunset neighborhood is a specific little subdivision, right? It's a subdivision that you've specialized in for many, many years. Let's call it Royal Oaks. Okay, so Royal Oaks is a subdivision of maybe, let's say, 50 homes. So it's a really great It's a really great small micro neighborhood. Maybe you live there, maybe you live close to there, you've done a couple transactions, and you really want to be known as kind of a Royal Oaks specialist. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, for someone who types in San Jose real estate, there might be, and I can find this out later, but there might be 10,000 people a month that type in that term, San Jose real estate. But when it comes to something as small as Royal Oaks, so Royal Oaks real estate, there might be, I don't know, maybe 50 people a month. So it's a much smaller group, but what that tells you is there's a much better opportunity for you to get on the actual home page of Royal Oaks itself. On the first page of Google for something that matches a Royal Oaks term. So what I'd like to do is I would like to go after people that are looking for testimonials on realtors in Royal Oaks. So I need to know my search terms. So before you start doing things like building out a specific web page, if you're going to do it with SEO in mind, you need to know what SEO terms, search engine optimized terms, that you're actually going for. Does that make sense? So in this case, I'm thinking, okay, Royal Oaks realtor testimonials. Okay? So that would be the term that I'm going after. Okay, so Royal Oaks realtor testimonials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some specific search engine optimized page to the idea of a Royal Oaks realtor testimonial search phrase. Okay, so now that I know my target, what I can do is I can start building my page. So let's go back here to My Connect. So we're in My Connect. We clicked on the web builder. and we got our actual web builder, okay? So this is the web builder system. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new page. So up here, I'm going to click on Options and New Page. Hold on one second. I'm going to, all right, just wanted to make sure that these chat window things were coming through with something else. So, all right, sounds good. So I'm going to get rid of the chat window. See, I get all distracted when you guys send me chat window things in the middle of a presentation. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to click on a new page. I'm going to go ahead and just make it this page here, an open layout. I'm going to name the page something in the back end that would make sense for me. So, Royal Oaks Testimonials. I'm going to click Create. All right. Now I've got my Royal Oaks Testimonials page ready to go. So when I name the page, you can see what happened here at the end of my URL. So kennethelmer.bhhsdrysdale/preview. We're in a preview environment right now because I haven't published the page. Royal Oaks Testimonials. This is kind of important with SEO right here. It's not as important as the other pieces I'm going to show you in our page attributes, but it's still important. So Royal Oaks Testimonials right here. How you phrase that, it should be consistent with what you want the search term to be. So Royal Oaks Realtor Testimonials, okay, and here it's Royal Oaks Testimonials. So I've named the page something consistent with what I'm going after. So in other words, if I name this page Page 2 or Ken's page from Thursday, those kind of things will not, that will actually harm your search engine optimization. So we want to make this somewhat realistic to the actual search terms. So I've got my page, okay, it's ready to go. It's ready for me to actually start doing something with it. So from here, I'm going to go into edit mode. Again, if you have not used the editor before, or if you've not used any of this web builder system, we have several videos on that. So I'm going to kind of breeze through, jumping into the editor, how to do page attributes, throwing this in the menu system, because we've already covered those things. I really want to focus today on search engine optimization. All right. So I'm going to actually go to edit the page. So I click on edit mode. So I'm in edit mode. How do I know I'm in edit mode? I click in the paragraph, and actually in here, I can see all of my editing tools. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of some of this blank text. And what we want to start with is writing our text, and writing our text based on A, what would be interesting to someone searching for a testimonial for realtors in Royal Oaks. And we want to use those terms throughout what we do, okay? So what I'm going to have you focus on is a couple of different things. First, the page title. That's part of the page attributes, and it also shows up here. And right now it's unnamed, and so this is just a generic title. And then what we call our header in the paragraph. So I'm going to head the page by just starting out by typing out find great testimonials from real people who live in Royal Oaks, North Carolina. Only because that's where I am right now, North Carolina. Now, that's the title on the page. It's got some really nice pieces of search engine optimization. It uses the word testimonials. It uses a term that Google actually applies, real people, so it looks for some added benefit because it's looking for something on here that's updated frequently and live and can actually be verified. And we've got Royal Oaks, NC, okay? Now, the only thing that is not on here is some sort of a real estate term. So as I'm taking a look back here, I'm thinking, that could be testimonials about cars, or that could be testimonials about lawn service, right? So find great testimonials. So let's say find great real estate and realtor testimonials from real people who live in Royal Oaks. Now I'm thinking real people, I probably don't need to say real, so I'll say from residents. How's that sound? Residents who live in Royal Oaks. Okay, now this is going to be the top of my page, and this is what we're going to call our H1. So what you need to understand is that when I click my cursor in here and I go up to my formatting window, I've got this paragraph format right here. I've got all these different options. The most important of all of these options is heading 1. There really only should be one heading 1 on the page. And what that does is that says, hey Google, when you come take a look at this page, and you're never going to know when they're going to come do it, but when you come take a look at this page, this header is telling you what the page is about. It's giving you a nice little comprehensive piece, but I'm not going to put 4 different H1s or heading 1s all through the page. I'm just going to give you one, and then everything below that will be other headings or body text. Okay? So rule number 1, we want to have one heading 1 per page. So I selected it. I'm going to click header 1. Okay? So find great real estate and realtor testimonials from residents who live in Royal Oaks. So now I'll click down on the page. Now would be the place where I would write a little introductory statement. Have you ever seen Royal Oaks in North Carolina? Is an amazing blah, blah, blah. So what we want to do here in this is just talk real, okay? We don't want to try and trick the search engine by saying Royal Oaks testimonials and realtors in Royal Oaks and testimonials are great for Royal Oaks, right? You remember the days 15 years ago when you used to read a page and it used to be stuffed with keywords? So Google about 5 years ago said, hey, we can recognize when your keyword stuffing, and we're not going to allow you to do that anymore. So you just want to talk real, but you do want to use your search phrases, right? You want to use Royal Oaks. You want to use North Carolina. You want to use real estate. A lot of people forget the obvious ones, right? If we're talking testimonials, we're talking Royal Oaks, it could be for a lawn care system. It could be for a ton of different things. So for formatting, I would just keep this right here on normal. There's no reason to change this to anything else. It's formatted to fit on the page nicely, but what you don't want to do is take this paragraph you're going to write, and then of course you're going to have your different testimonials after that. You know, Dawn and Linda said you were amazing, and then they're going to write a testimonial, and it's going to look really valid. But what you don't want to do is have a ton of these H1s, heading 1s, all throughout everything. So we want to keep this just to heading 1 up here at the top, and then everything else, just write like you would naturally speak, okay? So when it comes to the importance of these things for SEO, I would say this piece right here is number 2 in importance. This text right down here is number 2 in importance. What really is number 1 in importance is this page title. So right now it's unnamed, and you're thinking, well, wait a second, we did name the page. We named it Royal Oaks Testimonials. Well, that's the name of this URL, and that's the name of the page in the system, but it's not your page attribute for what your page header is supposed to be. So how do we get to there? And again, I'm recording this session, so if you can't follow along, or if you've missed a few things, this will be in the training documents within about 48 hours, and you can read this a few times as you start to build out your pages. So we've got our H1 here, so our heading 1, okay? We've got some text here. We're going to talk natural in our text. And what we need to do now is change this little header and change the name of the page. That's the number 1 thing for search engine optimization, is your page title. So where do I find that? Well, when we go back over here to options, I'm sure you've all seen this page attributes and wondered what in the world are the page attributes. Okay, well now you're going to find out what these page attributes are and how important they are into the system. So page attributes, you can see I haven't filled out anything. And so when I go to title, this needs to be concise, right? I mean, in the perfect world, it should be less than 60 characters, which is actually quite long. So I would keep it very, very concise. And it needs to be exactly what you want to tell Google this page is about, right? So what do we want to tell Google it's about? Royal Oaks NC Realtor Testimonials. Okay, Royal Oaks, North Carolina, Realtor Testimonials. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to tell Google the page is about. When Google looks at this header, it's going to see, oh, that relates to this, and that's what it wants to see. It wants to be super clear when it reads the page, and it's smart enough to know what the page is about, that it relates to this title up here. Okay, so that's super important. This is the number 1 thing for search engine optimization, is the title of your page. Okay. Now, where does this show up in Google? That's kind of an interesting question. If I go back over here to my Royal Oaks Realtor Testimonials, okay, All of these things in blue that you can click on, those are the page titles. So this page title is called Testimonials-Royal Oaks Homes. Very, very good. #1 Realtors in Royal Oaks. But it's an ad, so it doesn't really matter. Testimonials, Royal Oaks Home, Claremont Home Builders. Royal Oaks Homes, customer testimonial. You can see they are spot on. They're exactly what we want, and that would make sense. Okay? So let's go back to our page builder. We made our title. Okay, now keywords. So keywords used to be really, really relevant with Google and Bing and all the different search engines, and they're really not anymore. I would recommend that you just leave keywords blank. We still have it there because some people feel like they need to fill in keywords, but I will tell you from a search engine optimization perspective, Google has not gone in and actually cataloged and looked at keywords since about 2007. So it's been a long time since they've done anything with keywords. This can't be seen anywhere on your site. This is actually part of the data that sits behind your page. Okay? So we're not going to spend any time on keywords. I would leave it blank. Now, description. This one is really interesting. A lot of people don't fill anything out for description because they don't know what to fill out. Well, let's go back to our search terms. So how did Google figure out what to put right here? View testimonials, video content from Royal Oaks Homes, a leading home builder in Raleigh and Fayetteville. Okay? This right here is actually your, what's called your meta description. So it's called your description. If you go back here, description. Now, if Google catalogs your page and it shows up on search engines and you don't have anything in your description section here, Google will create something for you. And it will take snips off the page that it thinks are relevant. But, you know, this is really your marketing text, right? Just because you got to the front page, let's say, of a Google search doesn't mean someone's going to click you. That means you have a 10% chance of being clicked. And actually with the ads these days, you probably have a more like a 7% chance, right? A 1 in 7. So what's going to make you stand out is this little chunk of text. Here from happy homeowners in the Royal Oaks Royal Oaks community, we are proud to have received these testimonials and invite you to share. That's not bad. You know, that sounds very personable. It sounds very real. It sounds like someone actually took some time and wrote it. Let's go down here and see what else. Steve Gunter with HBC Coldwell Banker, spelled wrong, talks with his experiences with Royal Oaks Homes in the Raleigh area. Oh, interesting. So again, that's what they're defining. So this is basically competition, right? You're putting your little billboard out here with everybody else's billboard, and you're asking them to pick you and then pass on the other 9 people. So what should that description be? Well, let's take a look. So real neighbors in Royal Oaks share their personal experience with one of the best and brightest realtors in the neighborhood or in the area, something like that. Okay, so now when you type this out, do you have to have your search terms embedded in here? You do not. Google does not look at the description and say, oh, because that description says this, I think that we should rank it higher. Google does not use these descriptions in their ranking algorithm. Okay, what this is for is, as you compete with everybody, once you get onto this page, it needs to be inviting. So I would make it personable. I would make it super interesting. You know, I would make it individual and make it really about you. Okay. So page attributes. We're on the page attributes section of actually making this page more complete. So social media title, social media description. If you share this page or if somebody shares this page onto social media typically will pull from a couple of different spots. If you want this to show up and look different on maybe a Twitter share or on Facebook, you can fill in different things here. Honestly, I put the same things in typically. I want to be consistent, so I copy and I paste, and then I copy and I paste. Okay? Now we click Save. We refresh our page, and look at that. Royal Oaks NC Realtor Testimonials. And look up here, Royal Oaks NC Realtor Testimonials. And that Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Drysdale Properties is added to the end of everything to brand the company. Okay? So we've just made our change up here. We made our change right here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to save our earlier text. So that is my bad. Once we got into page editing, I forgot to save our page here and hit refresh first before I saved it. So I guess that's a good lesson for everybody. So read what Royal Oaks real estate investors have to say about Ken. That's not perfect, but we're going to go with it for now. Okay, so normal, we put heading 1, and then what we want to do from there, we'll go up here and we're going to click on save so I don't make the same mistake twice. Okay, so we've got our page title here. Our title is repeated down here, but this is what's most important. This tells me that it's in the code for Google to actually see this page. From here, I would go ahead and write just normal speak. I would not try and keyword stuff. Google knows if it's trying to be real or not. Maybe we put a video on here. Again, if you want to put a video from YouTube, we've got that button built in to do that. In fact, I pulled one up. That's great. So let's go into edit the page. We'll put our mouse where we want the video to be. We'll go to our YouTube button. Actually, we'll go grab the video first. That looks like a great video. I'm going to grab that one. So we click on share. We grab our YouTube micro URL. We go back to our page. We click on the YouTube button, and again, we're recording all this, so if you missed it, you can come back. It's not a problem. We're going to make it responsive so it's nice and big. We're going to embed it here. That's perfect. Okay, so I've got some embedded video. Really what I want you guys to see is I've got my H1 here, in other words, my heading 1. I've only got one of them on the page. I've got all of my attributes, and again, if we're struggling to see what our attributes are, we just go to Page Attributes, and it tells us Royal Oaks, NC Realtor Testimonials. Our description, remember our description is this piece right here. So it's our competition, it's our billboard once we get on there. We've got our, you can see here, let me show you this too. You can see here to separate, they use these things called pipes. And so your pipe button is right above your enter key. And so usually if you hit shift and then the key right above your enter key, it's a / and a little pipe. And so that's where that little pipe comes from, but that's very popular in page titles. So if you want to know how to make one of those, you can totally do that there. In fact, we can do that here. Something like that, okay? So remember, this is really a good piece too. So I just put my name in the top. So many of you might ask, why didn't you put your name in the top when you began? Well, remember, if somebody knows who you are, then you're well past search engine optimization. You should be, developing a relationship using CRM tools and, Starbucks coffee runs or whatever. What we're trying to do is people that don't know who you are specifically and are shopping around, we're trying to get you in front of those people. So if someone knows me already and they type in Ken Elmer, Royal Oaks, NC Testimonials, this page is going to come up whether my name's in the title or not, because that's such a small search term. Google's going to look at my website. They're going to see it identified with Kenneth or Ken Elmer. They're going to see this page. They're going to link the two together, and it's already going to be served up. It's what we call low-hanging fruit. And so that's stuff you really don't have to worry about aggressively going after. What I really want is I really want someone who does not know me, right? Someone who does not know me and I want to make a relationship with, who's looking for good, real testimonials for people that live in or want to live in Royal Oaks. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So we'll click Save on here. If we are ready and good with the page, we click Save here. And again, I'm just going through how to deal with the web piece here. We'll go to, we have this in a couple of different videos, that's why I'm kind of flying by. We go to Publish. So now it's real, okay? So you see that preview link is gone. So now I want to copy, and where am I going to put it in all of my navigation? Well, let's put it under my blog. So add new. What do I want it to say? Royal Oaks testimonials. We're going to link it to, I just copied it, so now I'm going to paste it. I'm going to make it first, and I'm going to make it native. So I click on add, and there it is, Royal Oaks testimonials. Okay? And that's a page we did for another group at another time. That's one of my other demos, so you guys have seen all this stuff. Okay, good. So we're about 25 minutes in. Let me take a quick break and get through the chat window pieces, and we'll go from there. And then we'll do a recap at the end where I will talk about all of these pieces again. Again, we're recording this, and so we're in good shape for you to be able to see it in the future. Okay, chat window. So Raphael, can you reduce the size of the video? Absolutely. So what I told, when I inserted this video, everyone likes to see Judy's face this big, let's be honest. But when I reduce the size of the video, sometimes it doesn't make it totally responsive. So basically what I told this page was, what I said is make the video responsive, so as wide as it can be within the framework, and then of course as small, and then have it auto shrink if I'm on a cell phone. So you can see how it does. If you hard code the video to be, let's say, 640 by 480, which is a very common size, then you're going to run into problems because you get down here, everything we build for you guys is really supposed to be responsive and snap to edges like this. Okay, so that's why I did it like that. You can certainly do it smaller, that's not a problem, and then center it in the page or whatever else you'd like to do from there. All right, good. Any other questions? If not, I'll do my review and then we can wrap it up for the day. Okay, I don't see any others. So let me do my review for you guys. Again, in our page attributes, what's the #1 piece that we want to deal with when it comes to search engine optimization? It's the page title, okay? So it's found under page attributes, right here under page attributes. And you can see I'm not in edit mode, and so this is just, they're all grayed out and they're just kind of showing us what we need to deal with. You can also see it up here. It's a Royal Oaks NC Realtor Testimonials. You can also see it here. That's the #1 thing. Make that clearly your search term, unless your search term is really weird, and then you can finagle a couple of words around. But it should be very, very close, okay? Royal Oaks NC Realtor Testimonials. So read what Royal Oaks real estate investors have to say about Ken. This would be my header. It's called heading 1. You only want one of those per page, okay? And then from there, as you put all of your text in, and we didn't put a lot of text in today, but as you put all your text in, it's important that you speak naturally, right? That you use your search terms, but don't do what's called keyword stuffing. So don't say things like, do you really want to know what it's like to live in Royal Oaks and hear Royal Oaks testimonials from real Royal Oaks people who live in Royal Oaks and have real estate transactions in Royal Oaks? Google's going to look at that and say, okay, your keyword stuck in Royal Oaks. I'm actually going to keep you out of Royal Oaks, all right? But if you just say stuff like, take a look below and find real examples from great neighbors in the Royal Oaks community and see who their favorite realtor might be. Royal Oaks testimonials are something that we update on a daily basis. Come back soon. Something like that might be a little bit stronger, and certainly Google will love it. Okay? So we got one more chat window, and then I will let you guys go for the day. Oh, Raphael, is it better to get the link in YouTube or embed the HTML? Actually, Google looks at it the same way. They don't really give you, they're going to like the fact that video's on the page, whether you iframe it or whether you get the link in YouTube with the microlink. They're going to see it framed in the same way. They're going to like the fact that it's responsive. Okay, so if you check that box that says responsive, which makes it big but also makes it small, you're going to get credits for mobile search, which is great. So they're like the fact that video's on the page, but they're not going to give you credit that it's your video because it's coming from YouTube, and that's okay. Really what they're going to do is they take YouTube video from YouTube. So again, let's take this to the next level. All of you guys should have some cool video testimonials where you're speaking in front of the camera. Or a video introduction or something like that. That's very common for realtors today. And that should live somewhere on YouTube. And then this would be a great place to embed that and then have text above and below it. Google would love a page like that. Okay, I'll leave it open for another couple of minutes if any other questions come through. If not, see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for another great session, and I'll stick around for a few minutes. We will have this on the website training section, I would say in about 48 hours, and you can come back and take a look then. Thank you.